Hey, hi, Jody. Good to see you too. Oh, yeah, there's the AI. We just learned, you guys, there's Zoom keeps asking you if you want like AI companion. And apparently Tina did it because when she raised her hand just for nothing, it like literally raised, it said that she had her hand raised. So I tell you. Okay. So excited you guys are here tonight. Happy Monday. I hope everybody's warm. Um, I'm grateful for power and I'm grateful for heat. Yeah, and I'm grateful you guys are all here. I want to do some really quick announcements before we get to our special guest. And first, we got to be talking about Vegas. Vegas is around the corner, you guys. It is in April. Um, if you do not have a room reserved yet, make sure you get that done. If you don't have roommates set up yet, reach out to me. We can start working on that. I just think this is going to be a super, super fun event. And they've got some really, really great things lined up. So make sure you start thinking ahead of that, start watching for flights and all that good jazz. Also, remember that if you are looking to hit the next rank or hit the next gem level, these promotions are still in play. I just literally myself ordered MB Core again. I still have a lot of enhanced left to start the MB system again. Now that I've been on P84 for a while, I am anxious to see what it's going to do for me this time. And I really want to reap those benefits metabolically for myself because I know what it's continued to do for my husband. So I just want you to remember that these are on sale 20% off and 25% off. If you wanted to reach out to your customers or you have somebody that maybe wants to try again after having been on P84, just know that those are still going on till the end of the month. And then also, we also have the beginning of the month call always that first Monday of the month, but instead, what will be happening is new product training. So on February 2nd and February 3rd, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, both days, Monday and Tuesday, there will be a 2 day special launch event. They'll be talking about Phytopower B, which is a carb blocker, and then Axio X, which is a more of an energy drink that there's 15 sticks in a pack because it's not truly meant for like every day, but also I've heard is a great pre-workout. So we've got that and the training coming with that as well. And then I had to reschedule this 2 times. So I will not be rescheduling it again because of corporate stuff. But Bob Heilig is going to be doing a special training for all of us company wide, whoever wants to come on February 10th. We've kind of talked about the mask that you wear in network marketing before. I brought that to you guys. He's going to go into more detail on that on the 10th. And there will be a follow up Zoom. So he's going to give everybody like a quiz to take to find out what mask you wear. And then on the follow up Zoom, he'll be doing live training for us. So I'm really, really excited about that. Make sure that you mark that on your calendars because I really believe that's going to truly help a lot of people have some massive breakthroughs. So I asked Katie Smith to come on and be a special guest on our Zoom a while back. And it's just because I just love her calmness. She just comes across so confident, so sure, and yet really knows her stuff. And I have just so much respect for her. And I told you guys, I want to bring in more guests in this new year just for belief building, because if we don't have our belief, we're going to forget our calling in this network marketing space. And we all said yes because we believe in the products that we represent. So the more belief we have, the more we're going to continue to say our store is open, the more we're going to talk to people about it. So I wanted you guys to hear her story. But first of all, you need to know that Dr. Katie Smith is a registered and licensed dietitian. She's certified exercise physiologist. She holds a PhD in nutrition science. Earlier this year, she stepped away from her dream role as a tenured college professor teaching and advising future healthcare professionals at the undergraduate and graduate levels. This girl is so smart. She's on a mission to help people, especially busy, high achieving women. She understands to help them understand their bodies, Trust their intuition and embrace that it's okay for dreams and priorities to change. She is now building a private practice focused on personalized health, movement, and hormone support, recognizing the powerful impact these have on generational health. This work is deeply inspired by her four young daughters and her commitment to shaping a healthier future for the next generation. That's the most incredible bio, Katie. Thank you so much for saying yes to being here. I'm so grateful that you did that. I know you're super busy, especially with four young daughters. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of
You,
drama.
Tanya. I appreciate the invite. I was very honored to get your invitation. You guys have the most incredible leader. I just have to say that to begin with. I mean, if you didn't know that already, she is one of the best cheerleaders for everybody in this organization. And I have really appreciated the ability to call her up and ask hard questions, ask easy questions. And I always know that I will get a truthful answer and a genuine answer. And I think that is so valuable in a leader. So you guys are in phenomenal hands. So I was very intrigued and very blessed that you asked and wanted me to join your group. So yeah, I'm really here tonight for you guys. So
Yes, thank you. Back to you. So I just really want everyone to hear, like, I just love when people get to hear like your beginning story. Like, tell us how you were even invited into LifeVantage. And did you say no right away? Did you think about it? Like, what was the process like for you to say yes to this? And why did you finally say yes?
sure. So, as you can imagine, being in the health and fitness industry for 20 years, I started as a personal trainer 20 years ago. Worked out in Washington, D.C., did personal training of attorney generals and U.S. Marshals, taught group exercise classes. Um, and then over the years, my path went down more of the nutrition route. But regardless, through all of that, you're constantly asked to look at products and supplements, right? Nonstop. And I will admit that over the last, probably 5-ish years, I really just got to the point where I didn't even really look at them. Like I would when I needed to consult on a case, particularly. But unless I had a really good reason, nothing was wowing me anymore. I had seen it. It felt like everything in 15 years. And anytime I did explore something, if my husband brought it to me, it always confirmed like, nope, it's junk for X, Y, and Z reason. And it was no different when I heard about LifeVantage before I looked at the products, right? So the story actually starts at a softball practice. My daughter plays softball with Amy and Grant Dippold's daughter, if you're familiar with Amy and Grant Dippold in Central Iowa. So they're executive consultants in LifeVantage too. Um, and we were at practice one day and getting to know each other, just kind of sharing, oh, who's your daughter out there? And exchanging stories. What do you do? This is what I do. And I literally said to Amy, oh, so you sell supplements? She's like, no, they're activators. I was like, okay, weird response, but whatever. And she's like, have you heard of nutrigenomics? I'm like, okay, nobody's ever responded to my comment of you sell supplements with nutrigenomics. So like now I'm a little more intrigued, but to be truthful, it was saved by the bell because practice was over. So it was like, whew, got out of this conversation of, sales. And so we went on our way and she continued to kind of follow up. That was probably March, April, coming up on 2 years ago. And she continued to follow up a few times, just, hey, I'd love to get to know you more. I never prioritized it because I knew what she was after at the end of the day, right? And she reached out in the summer, and I'm home with my kids in the summer, and so it just wasn't really a priority. But then in October, so now we're later that year, like 6 months later, I had just given a talk at the National Dietetic Convention. And it was all around hormone health. And it was all around how basically all of hormonal function starts in the gut, and the gut sends a message to the brain, right? So this mind body connection really stimulated hormone and metabolic function. And we packed an entire room of healthcare providers. Actually, they were turning people away at that talk. And so I really left that room incredibly inspired. Actually, when I left the room that day, that was the motivation that I needed to give my notice at the university that I was teaching at. Because and that's another conversation I can share with you some other time, just as far as where my dream job was no longer filling my cup the way that it used to. And that was kind of a hard realization that over several years I had to come to terms with. But when I left that stage, I felt inspired and incredibly excited to go out and impact the world in a different way. I didn't entirely know what that was going to look like yet, but I knew that I had the confidence to step away and start chipping away at what the next adventure was. Now, in academia, when you give your notice, you're not done in 2 weeks. So I knew I had, that was October and I would be done that May, right? So I had a good 7 months to start to build towards the next venture. And I knew that part of that would be building this private practice. But I also knew that I wanted just more time for my family as well. So I was in my hotel room, either prepping for my talk or trying to deprogram and, diving deeper into some of the questions that some of the people afterward had come up and asked. When one of my clients at the time, I was seeing a few before I officially launched my practice, but one of them messaged me and said, "I think it's time for me to go on Ozempic." And I've known this person for a really, really long time and know her quite well. And I just said, "Well, I don't think we're there yet." Dove deeper into why she thought she needed to go down that route. And I said, "You know what? It's mid-October, early October. Give me till November 1. Give me 2 weeks and let me see what I can figure out as our next step before going to Ozempic." And so you can imagine when I went to try to research natural GLP-1 enhancement or improvement. I might have said activation of GLP-1 hormone, not having any idea what that word really meant in this health space. I found the Mind Body System because that was exactly the same week that it was launching in Kansas City. And so I dove into it. I looked at the product. I was like, well, my first oath as a healthcare provider is do no harm. I don't see anything here that looks as though it would cause harm. So I then looked at the company. I'd read the research studies and I was like, LifeVantage, why does this sound so familiar? Well, open up social media and realize that's what Amy was posting about all the time. That's why it sounded so familiar. LifeVantage had broke the internet, right? Like that exact same week. So I reached out to her and I said, "Okay, I think we need to talk now." And she prioritized it. Like I think they were on their way to like somebody's launch event. And she's like, "I can meet you briefly for like 20 minutes." And I'm like, "I'll take it." Because it was a Friday afternoon and my gal was literally ready to order Ozempic. And so I think the takeaway from that story so far is that any opportunity that you have for someone when they are interested and they're ready, do whatever you can just to get a conversation in with them. Like, I don't care if it lasts 5 minutes, if it lasts 20 minutes, whatever it is, don't put them off, because I think if she would have put me off, it would have been easy for me to go on and try to find the next solution for me, right? But they met me in town. We had a great conversation. And she built the trust in the fact that every hard question that I asked about the company that she didn't know right there, she's like, "I'll get back to you. I'll find answers for you." But at this point, I was also interested in my own health, right? And so she helped me understand where the company came from, what this little yellow pill was, because I really hadn't discovered that. I was just focused on mind body. She gave me a sample of collagen. And so then we had this conversation about collagen because that's probably one of the supplements that I had looked the most into because I knew the value of it, but every time I had looked for one, I couldn't find one that I felt was worth the price. because of the wide uses of collagen in the body, and the vast majority of collagen products have very few collagen peptides, right? So if you're not familiar with other collagen supplements, usually you see 2 or 3 different collagen peptides in a collagen product. Ours had 10, has 10. So I knew right away that it was at least 3+ times better than any other collagen that I'd ever looked at on the market. And so I thought, you know what, that's what I'll order for myself. And I will feel comfortable with allowing her to order the Mind Body System. So I jumped all in. Amy threw out the offer, and I don't think she would mind if I told you this because she coaches her team to do the same thing. But when you vet your people correctly, if you lead with the business pack, she offered to reimburse my $50 enrollment fee if I bought one of the large $1,000 packs. And in my mind, I thought, well, myself or my husband could benefit from GLP-1 enhancement. So I bought the pack of the 3 Mind Body Systems, 3 collagen, 3 Nerve 2. And I thought, well, I want to give the collagen a try for at least 3 months. I don't know, have anything else to be able to help with oxidative stress as much as I've seen Nerve 2 to be able to do. I can't possibly eat that much broccoli and blueberries. As much as we try, it's not going to work. And so to me, honestly, I bought in with that big pack because I saw I would do it at least 3 months myself, even if there wasn't anybody else interested, that I was still saving like 30% by investing in that pack. And then she was giving me back my $50. So to me, it was just kind of a no-brainer for a personal financial standpoint. However, what she shared with me was that, you know, if you start to have conversations with other people and you think they could benefit from Mind Body, then it will also allow you to have extra systems on hand in case they want to get started right away. And so then they could order their system, you could physically give them one of yours, and when theirs comes in, they can replace it. And I am so grateful that she did that because we put our order, I signed up on the last Sunday night of October, and my client got her order in that same night. So I learned how to send a shopping cart within like 30 seconds of signing up and getting my distributor ID. And then 2 days later, Mind Body sold out. But I had 3 sets of it coming my way. And, you know, people just are oftentimes reaching out because of the work that I do, friends or family. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And now I had a new tool in my toolbox to be able to chat with them about, right? And so it didn't take long for those 3 were already spoken for, those 3 systems, before I even got mine in the mail. So that's really kind of where my story started with LifeVantage. I did my first meeting, I would say, with LifeVantage about a month later. It was right before. And so as an educator for so many years, that is what is authentic to me, is teaching about the human body. And I was really uncomfortable talking product because I had never done that, right? Like I had to stay neutral in the classroom. I mean, people asked, hey, what do you think of this? I had no problem talking about it, but I wasn't talking about it from a sales perspective in front of a classroom. And I am not on social media much, but I did post when I was at that conference and just felt so empowered speaking to that room full of dietitians. I did a social media post and it absolutely went like wildfire. And my phone did not stop blowing up after that post about like, I so wish I could, people saying, I so wish I could have heard that talk. I would have loved to have been in that room. And I thought, you know what? Why can't I just rent a room locally and give, you know, an abbreviated version to the lay public? And so that's exactly what I did. And I invited Amy to come and, or maybe she suggested, you know, having a launch meeting. And then we decided how would it feel authentic to me? And for me, it was me teaching about hormone health leading up to, well, then what do you do about it? Right. And here's a possible solution. And I had Amy come in and give the product presentation. So we probably did that once or twice, and then I took on the product presentation. I think maybe I did the product presentation the second time and I still had her do the business part because I was still trying to learn what that looked like. But there is no better way to learn than to have to teach somebody else. So if you are feeling like you like oh, I hear all these other people talk and I could never talk activation or teach the products or do an overview that way. People are coming to you because they know, like, and trust you and who you are. They don't want you to try to be like a PhD dietitian because that may not be who you are. So explain it to them the way that you know and understand it, because that's why they're reaching out to you, right? You've done something, you've either made a post or you've said something in a conversation to them that sparked their interest, right? So you already have them interested. Meet them where they are with who you are.
You're such a good
Um,
educator, Katie. I mean, I love how you're incorporating lessons into your story for everyone. Like it just, that's so special and so important. Not a lot of people do that, and you just naturally do that. There's so many lessons in the story that you just gave us. I'm thinking so much of Taryn right now because her story is a lot like yours. I wanted to ask you too, like you got into this industry because you had a client that had a need that you could fulfill with the
Right.
products that we have. That now that you're in this, as this tenured professional that's seen everything come your way, how do you feel now about being a part of the network marketing industry?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think, you said something at the beginning of the call, Tanya, that I've been thinking about a lot lately because the month of December was a really hard month personally for my family. We had 5 funerals and we had an unexpected surgery and hospitalization for my mother-in-law. And so my business took a hard hit. And I'll be truthful, that was one of the first months that my business has gone backwards since I started. And to me, I hardly even looked at it until January. You try to get back into it, and it's like, oh, that kind of stinks. And so I think one, it's important to know that everybody has these roller coasters in the business. Um, and what I can't remember now what you even said earlier, Tanya, but I was like, oh, that's something that I've been thinking about. Oh, I think it was just the fact of like, stay true to who you are, right? And remember your why. And so anytime that I would start to get frustrated and feeling like, oh, maybe this isn't the right place for me, which doesn't happen often, right? But I do think it's natural that sometimes we can get in our head that when things aren't going well, we think it's something wrong with me. And that's not the case. It's just, you know, the message or not the right time for other people. I always remind myself, but think of who it is working for. Think of who is so thankful. And I swear to goodness that every time, if I have a hesitation, there will be a customer that reaches out and shares a success story within days after that, right? Like if I verbalize and think and I pray, like, okay, is this where I'm meant to be? Every single time somebody reaches out and shares a positive story. But even if that doesn't happen, I still come back to, do I know, like, and trust the material that I'm sharing with people? Yeah, that has never changed, right? And I just was not looking, I was listening to a nurse practitioner in the hormone space talk the other day. She has nothing to do with this company, right? She works for the hormone testing company that I do all of my hormone testing with. And was talking about egg quality and corpus luteum quality, right? So corpus luteum meaning like the pre-follicle that can be fertilized to develop into an embryo. And she's like, the thing you have to know about egg quality is mitochondrial function. You have to support the mitochondria. And so she starts listing alpha lipoic acid, CoQ10, carnitine. Okay, that's Protandim Nerf 1, folks. That's 3 of the 5 herbs in Protandim Nerf 1. So that perked my ears. Then she continued to say, and then once you figure out that you need to start taking those herbs, then you have to make sure that you are actually able to absorb them. So you need to work on decreasing your inflammation and decreasing your oxidative stress. Hello, Nerf 1 and Nerf 2 in a nutshell from a hormone nurse practitioner enthusiast. And I find that kind of stuff all the time. And those are the things that continually reinforce, like, I know what I've found. I know that I'm excited about it. But when you hear other people, I mean, it's like the Good Energy book, right? Like you guys probably have now heard multiple different people talk about how good that Good Energy book is. And then you read it and you're like, this just screams activation over and over and over again, right? Had nothing to do with the company, but it's just really exciting, I think, when you find those repeated validations. I
I
don't know
love
if that
it.
answered your question, Tanya, but
No,
how do I feel about it now? I think it's safe to say that I still sometimes have, I don't even know that imposter syndrome is right. It's just, it's a different space to be in, but I continually remind myself that for me, it's a tool in my toolbox to help other people.
I love that. I know I've talked to so many people on this team that have talked about the fact that they wanted to veer off. They don't know if this is for them. They try to get out, but God keeps bringing them back here. Like it's just a very, very common story. And I'm grateful for the belief that you can bring to us as someone, again, that has seen so much and heard everything, and you get to be around these professionals that we do not, that continually enhance your belief in the products that we have. I mean, I followed up with a friend last week, and she's like, the funds just aren't there yet. She goes, but I continue to tell my husband, if I'm going to invest in anything, it is going to be with the products that LifeVantage has. She goes, I can just feel like the quality that you hold. So the one last thing I want to say too is, you said it yourself, which I appreciate. Like, you don't have to be a PhD or have all the, you know, titles behind your name to do this business or get trust from other people. But when it comes to you, like breaking it down to the other mom on the soccer field or at the softball diamond, and she asks what you do, or you explain to them what we have, how do you break that down yourself? When I'm sure it's very hard for you to break it down in layman's, but
Mhm.
kind of what's
Well, I first want to comment on, you're absolutely right. You don't have to have a PhD. You don't have to be a dietitian. You don't have to be a healthcare provider at all, because arguably it's really hard for me to break it down and make it simple. And I know that. And I know that I probably lose a ton of sales because I talk too much about it, because I get excited about it. But me do me, you do you, right? So I didn't get started for the sale. I got started to keep one person off of Ozempic, and it's just been a really cool blessing since then. Um, so what do I think that resonates really well with people? Um, of course, it depends on who I'm talking to. I think analogies are continually what work really well for people, right? So my current analogy that I'm using a lot is the analogy of a house for gut health. And when you think about gut health in the form of a house, think of an abandoned house, right? That has broken doors, leaky windows, leaky doors, unwanted guests and critters in the house. Kind of like nutrient depleted soils. Oh, sorry, it says I'm unstable. It can be very easy for our gut to need extra attention. And so if you think about trying to heal the gut or fix up this abandoned house, it's going to take time to first reseal all of the tight junctions between our gut cells and put in new windows and doors in the house, right? That's the first thing you have to do so that no new unwanted guests can get in. Then what you have to do is you have to work on getting rid of all the unwanted guests that are in the house. Okay. Once you do that, then you can actually move your family into the house, the people that need and are supposed to be in there. That's the probiotics, the people that are supposed to be in there. Then you want to start feeding the people that live in the house. That's the prebiotics that you feed, the probiotics, you feed the people, right? And then you've got like your detox binders in P84, and you have peptides that are upregulated to be able to build the strength of the gut around it. And so it's easy for them to think like maybe if they've tried gut health before, but they've only tried one element of P84, they've only tried prebiotics, they've only tried digestive enzymes. The house analogy really seems to help them see how P84 is different in terms of its comprehensive approach. And so anytime, and I would say use whatever tool you need to. If that's AI, ask it to help you create an analogy for a product if you need to. But people love, I mean, Tanya says this all the time, stories sell, right? And so if you don't have a story that particularly is for someone else and a product helping someone else, then make a story out of an analogy because that helps it stick for people.
Mm, so good. So good. Yes, analogies. Because, yeah, I know that resonates with me. It gives people a vision. An analogy helps create a vision too, especially like a house, like you said. Oh, so good. What's your goal or what's your hope and dream for your business this year, Katie?
Just to get open, get my platforms up and running to officially take people. So it's too hard for me to do my consults for LifeVantage turn into like very long conversations, and I need to do better about separating those from like diving. I don't like to make recommendations without asking a lot of, health history conversations. So I'm trying to do better about delineating what's just a product consult and actually getting my business up and running for the next step. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what I'm
your
working on.
passion is so evident. Thank you for sharing it with us. I hope you really start teaching more because you are an amazing teacher. You're an amazing educator. You do it very, very well. I want you to know that.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
that. That means a lot
Thank
from
you
you.
for that. Yes, you're
I love
welcome.
teaching. I do. It's my
Yeah.
passion is to help people understand what their body is capable of doing, if we just take care of it.
I'd love to hear you just do a talk about hormones. I think that'd be amazing. You should be on Wednesday Wellness. If not, I'll do Wednesday Wellness with you and let's talk about hormones. It's so
Go. There you
needed.
go.
It's so
It
needed.
is. It
So,
is. It's
okay.
so
Well, we
fun.
always end in prayer, and I just love to pray for you,
I love
Katie, if
that.
you don't mind. All
Yeah,
right.
please.
Let's
Thank you.
pray, everybody. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for Katie. And I just love the God led story that just brought her to LifeVantage. Thank you that that door was open. Thank you that she followed through and just that she met Amy at the field. Just thank you for bringing her here, Lord. And I just pray that you bless her business in abundant ways this year. Just blow her mind with what's up, what's possible for her and all the people that you have yet for her to help. And thank you for this amazing team, this amazing company. Lord, you know the stories of the people on our team right now that are recuperating or recovering or going through really, really hard times. And we continue to lift them up to you. We continue to pray for their healing, their guidance, their clarity in their next steps in their medical journeys. And Lord, we just pray for complete healing for all of them. And just thank you so much for the weather we have up here. When we pray for those in the South that are going through tough times, that everything they're going through passes through quickly and that they can get some warmer temps to get what they need. So in your name we pray. Amen. All right. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank you
Katie. Thanks for
guys.
saying yes.
Yes, come introduce yourself if you're in Vegas or when you're in Vegas, I should say. I would love to meet you guys. Oh, thanks, Laura. That's kind of you.
Yes, you'll meet Laura. I can just know it. You speak her language. All right,
That's
everybody, have a
awesome.
great night and a
Have a
great
good
week.
night.
Okay. End the
See you
month strong,
guys.
guys. I'm here for you if you need anything. Love you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.